So I've been doing YouTube for a little over a year now. When I first started my YouTube channel, I had to tackle the problem of what camera gear to use. I didn't want to shell out a bunch of money for a professional camera right up front. In this video I talk about what I started with and what I've moved on to. And of course I give some tips and tricks along the way that may help you out if you're starting a YouTube channel too. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Justin and I film all sorts of stuff based around off-roading, four-wheel driving, overlanding, gear, all that kind of stuff. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I started my channel, what kind of camera gear that I started with, and then I'm going to talk kind of where I'm at now with my camera stuff and what I've acquired over time. And by no means am I a professional photographer. I don't know near as much as some of the bigger photographers that are out there, but I've kind of gotten by just with YouTube and watching other people do this. So yeah, I thought I'd share what I got started with and why, and then what I've moved on to over time as I've been doing this a little bit longer. The first thing, my first video I filmed on my iPhone 15 Pro Max. So I had my 15 Pro Max. I had my old GoPro Hero 5, I think is what it is, the GoPro Hero 5. And this I had just from a long time ago. I don't know what I wanted to film with it. I think I wanted to just film random GoPro stuff with it. But I've had this for years. I didn't really buy this with the intent of starting a YouTube channel. It's just something I had to shoot video, cool stuff that I thought was fun and neat. So I started with this, and then I did buy a couple other things specific for starting a YouTube channel, which by no means you need to do that to start one. You can start really with the iPhone. But I got a DJI Mavic 3 Pro, I believe is what it is. And then I got the upgraded controller. Another thing I bought was a Peak Designs tripod because I wanted to be able to set my phone up on tripod to get vehicle shots and whatnot. And that was huge. I had messed around with kind of cheaper tripods in the past and I could not stand them. So I upgraded the Peak Designs. It's really sturdy. It's actually what I'm using to film this video right now. Change the angles of the camera however you want. It's really nice. So Peak Designs tripod. If you're gonna get a tripod, check out the Peak Designs because it's probably the last tripod you'll ever have to buy. One additional thing to note with the iPhone is I wanted to film in the Apple ProRes. So I bought a mini SD. This is a Samsung T7, and I bought a little magnet case for it, so it magnetizes straight to the back of the phone. You'll need a USB-C, so this is a Condor Blue USB-C. Plug it straight in, plug it into your phone, and boom, you can record straight onto your hard drive here. That way you don't fill up the storage on your phone. One other thing I will mention about the Peak Designs tripod for your phone, if that's what you're trying to film on, is you can get this little doodad right here, little Peak Designs phone mount. So you take your phone and just slide it in, and then this will clip straight into the Peak Designs tripod. So that's a great way to film on your phone and have a good stable tripod. So that is what I did for the first couple of videos, is I set my phone up on my tripod just like so. The downside of this is that if you're trying to film straight onto an SD card, I never found a good solution for it because I didn't want to buy the stupid cage for these things. And I didn't want to film on this long term. You got to plug in a USB-C cord. And when I had it on the tripod, I basically just let this thing dangle. And that, at one point I took a hair tie, one of my wife's hair ties, and hair tied it to the tripod so it would be stable, and then the cord just ran up to the phone. But one issue I actually had once was I had a bad USB cord, probably from it hanging, and there's a bunch of video that I lost I just never got because the cord wasn't working. So again, just more pain points with filming with your iPhone. You definitely have to adapt and overcome a little bit if you're trying to do that, but it will work. And you can make it happen if you really want to put out a video and don't have the means to just buy all the camera gear at once, which I don't know who would without, you know, really knowing if this is something they're going to do long term. Started with my iPhone and mini SD, my old GoPro, and the DJI Mavic Pro 3. So that's obviously a little unnecessary to start a YouTube channel. Again, you can really start with your phone. You don't even have to shoot the ProRes, but I desired a certain level of quality. So at least I wanted to have this. I liked the idea of having a drone, especially since I was going to be by myself. And some shots are really hard to get by yourself. Plus, I wanted to be able to get some shots of the scene where I was at, just to kind of add to the quality of the video. And then this, I really wanted to get capture footage inside my vehicle of me going through whatever it is I was going through. And that was great. That was great for the first few videos that I did. I made it work. Honestly, the biggest downfalls were battery life and storage on the GoPro, which I still really haven't solved. It's probably an easy thing to solve. I just haven't invested in more batteries or more storage for it. So definitely more battery life for this, or more batteries for this is in my future. But honestly, the biggest struggle that I had was filming on my iPhone. So trying to film a full hour-long video on your iPhone very quickly got old. So I ran into issues where I was using this as my phone to keep in contact with people. I was using this as my primary GPS, using Gaia, Onyx, whatever. And I was also using this as my main camera. So it was just absolutely sucking the life out of this phone. There was times where I had to stop and let this charge. Between shots, I was plugging it in, trying to charge it and keep it going, and it just depleted it to the point that sometimes, again, I just had to stop and let it charge for a while. Another thing that kept happening with this was I kept trying to connect to my Apple CarPlay in my Land Cruiser, and so I'd set up a shot. It'd be a sweet shot. I'd be really excited about it. Get home to edit, and then realize I had no audio because it had connected to my Apple CarPlay and didn't have audio, or it just shut the video down altogether. So there's one scene, which I'll try and overlay it over this. There's one scene where I got stuck in a bog hole in the Ozarks, and I had this set up, thought it was recording, thought it was gonna be a great shot, and I get out to realize, check my phone, it had shut off when it connected to my Apple CarPlay when I had got back in my car to start driving. So again, just little pain points. It's really just not ideal using this long term. It was enough to get me started. I'm thankful for that. And it really does some pretty decent quality. One thing it doesn't really do great on is capturing the audio. Some of my audio of my voice and even the vehicle were pretty quiet, which was not ideal. So I did a few videos with that, and again, it got me started, which I'm very thankful for. But I pretty quickly realized I wanted to move on to something else. The GoPro did fine. Again, other than the battery life. I use this, I'd stick it on the windshield. I got a little suction cup mount for it, stick it on the windshield to capture the in-shot views. And I really like doing the in-shot views. I think that just kind of adds to it, gives you a little time to chat. Yeah, I think this is great inside. I didn't want to use my car and set it up on the screen. Again, it would be just another thing to use my phone for. So this was great to have to get pretty much solely the in-car shots. I rarely take this out of my windshield when I'm on a trip. It just stays there, and that's the only reason I use this. I'd like to get a couple more. I'd actually like to get the DJI action cams, but that's just something I'll do down the road. I'm actually getting a little thirsty. I'm gonna hop in the old ice coat real quick. And while I'm up here, guys, I guess I might as well talk about the ice coat a little bit. I just put this fridge in just a little bit ago, as you guys may or may not have seen from my last video. It's been super efficient, super quiet in the car. I can hardly hear it. It's using the C-Cop compressor. I think it's out of Germany. But been really happy with the fridge so far. Again, it's been sipping on power. It's been great. Ton of storage inside, a little bit more than my last fridge. Yeah, I can't speak highly enough about how this fridge has been with me so far. I've really enjoyed it, really like the look of it. And one of my favorite things about this fridge is actually the lid here. So you can open it any direction. You can also remove it, which I don't know why you're trying to remove the lid off of your 12-volt fridge in your car, but you can do it if you want to, which is always great. Yeah, no complaints so far. So if you guys are interested in an IceCo fridge, you can use my code Justin4WheelDrive and save yourself 12%. Thanks. Now let's get back to camera gear. For the big investment for my first few videos, I got the DJI Mavic Pro 3, which was great. You don't have to have any license for this because it's under a specific weight. So I could fly this. Taught myself via YouTube how to really kind of fly it and how to get decent shots, which I'm still not the best at by any means. But this was great. I got a few extra batteries for it here. I did get a little ND filter for it from Polar Pro, I think is where I got that from. And yeah, this was great. I just liked that I could capture, you know, the scene, kind of campsites, stuff like that, and then just some cool shots that you can get with drones that you really just can't replicate with anything else, like the overhead shots and stuff like that. But yeah, so that was what I started with: phone, GoPro, and a drone. I have since moved on to my primary camera being what I'm filming on right now, which is the Sony a7 IV, and I just have the stock lens on it, just the lens that it came with. And that has been awesome. I did get a few extra batteries for it, which is definitely critical with the Sony a7 IV. I'm sure it's like that with most cameras like that. But I mean, in my opinion, and you guys can comment below if you think, but the quality just went up immensely. And what I can do with the camera, you know, it's so much easier to attach external audio, and then the storage is great too. Being able to just hot swap batteries, you know, whenever you need to. Just totally, you know, all those pain points that I had with the iPhone just kind of went out the window. I would like to get a few more lenses, but this is totally fine for now for what I'm doing and the amount of videos I'm putting out. So the Sony a7 IV in combo with the Peak Designs tripod has been awesome. I've loved it. One thing I did buy for the camera was this little Rode mic, which has been really great for capturing audio, you know, of the truck driving through whatever obstacle I'm going through. So much better than just your standard iPhone audio. So the Rode mic, the Sony, and the Peak Designs tripod has been huge for me and for the channel. Just ease of use, it's great. You can do like external audio and stuff like that on your iPhone, but it seems like you have to get like some kind of crazy cage system for it. And then on that cage system, it's like you put your external audio, plus you got to get another plug for your mini SD. So it's like, it gets crazy. It turns into this transformer of a phone with all these different attachments. And I just never really liked that idea. So that has been, the Rode mic and the Sony camera were a later addition. And then I was actually gifted a gimbal. It's a Zhiyun gimbal. I don't know if I said that right. I haven't messed around with that too much. I just kind of recently started playing with it to kind of figure out how to use that. So I'll incorporate that in some future videos. But that has been a pretty sweet little thing that I got given to me, and I'm definitely going to use that in any kind of like B-roll type shots, which I'll throw in here at the end of the video. But yeah, that's been really cool. Another thing I did for audio was I got this little guy, which I'm talking into right now. This is a Zoom H1 Essential. And this is a relatively inexpensive little external audio mic. And I use this solely for just micing up, like putting a mic on myself for talking and stuff like this. Don't use it as much on the trail. On the trail, I kind of just lean on the Rode mic, and that does okay. But I also got a Rode lapel mic. I think that's what it's called, a Rode lapel mic. So I run the Zoom H1 Essential with the Rode lapel mic. I hope I'm saying that right. But yeah, and that's been great. Battery life's really good. Storage is really good on these. You can add little micro SDs as you wish, and that's been great for stuff like this. But again, pretty cheap. You can be the judge of the audio quality on it. I mean, I'm talking through it right now, so feel free to comment on it. And if you guys have a better solution, feel free to drop that in the comment as well. But this has been working for me. Another thing that I got, which I have used a few times, this is a little magnetic mount, and you can put a GoPro on it. Again, I bought this pretty cheap off Amazon. I would use it more if I had an additional GoPro, but because this GoPro lives inside of my car on the windshield, I just try not to move it too much. So this doesn't get used as much, but this is another cool little handy thing to pick up if you have two GoPros or whatever. Yeah, definitely check one of these things out. One thing I did do once I started acquiring all of this camera gear was I wanted to get a good reliable case to hold it all and keep it kind of organized. So I got this Pelican. I actually got it. It's a Pelican 1550 case. I actually got this case used off eBay. I think it was sub $100, but it had some already pre-cut holes in the foam, and I just made do with it. And that's been awesome, being able to throw it in the passenger seat of my car and grab stuff when I need it, and then know it's gonna be okay if the case falls on the ground or there's a lot of dust in the air or whatever. I don't know that it's totally watertight. It has a little rubber gasket here, so it would probably be okay for a short period of time, but I really wouldn't like to have to test that theory. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now. Again, there's stuff I would like, but this certainly gets me by with what I'm doing right now. One thing I want to comment on about this gear is one of my best performing videos I think right now it's at 132,000 views, which really shocked me that it did that well. I filmed that video with my iPhone, and I believe I had my little H1 mic, and that was pretty much it. Sorry for the motorcycle. That was pretty much it. iPhone, tripod, and a mic. Again, I think this mic is like $85. If I'm probably a little off on that, but you can use the phone that you have and get away with that for a little while and get some videos out there that it'll get you started. So you don't need all this stuff by any means. I just wanted to invest in something that I know I'm going to do for a little while, and hope to continue to build on my YouTube channel. But again, my best performing video was the easiest video I've ever made. It's my gear video that I went out and showed off some of my favorite gear that I use on a daily basis, or on a trip basis, on every trip basis. And and yeah, I mean that has kind of propelled my channel. Again, easiest video to film with the least amount of gear necessary. So if you want to start a YouTube channel, just do it with what you got. And if you start to really like it, really like filming and whatnot, then you can add to what you need. And also going out and shooting videos, you start to find what you need. Like, I've already figured out stuff that I want there's still stuff that I want to add to this that'll just make my life easier when I'm filming these episodes, these adventure episodes. And so that's, I think, the best way to do it. I've bought so much camera equipment, thinking that I'm going to use it, and it sits in a bag inside. It never gets used. And I thought I needed it, but when I actually got out there to use my stuff and film, it just never came in handy, and I never needed it. So use what you got. Start your channel. Getting videos out is the most important thing. You don't need all the gear. I started with the phone, old GoPro, and a drone. Totally unnecessary to have the drone. I just wanted it to add a little bit to my videos, but it's definitely not necessary. So, but anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Just a real short one. Just wanted to put something out that may help some of you guys that are thinking about starting a YouTube channel. If you guys have any questions about any of the stuff I use here or any of the stuff that I do when I'm filming, go ahead and chime in the comments. If you have a better way to do it than I do, by all means, hit me up in the comments, because I am certainly not a professional. I'm very much so still learning all this like video production stuff and trying to get better with all my editing and all that stuff. So let me know if you guys have any tips or tricks, any gear that I should check out, because that would be much appreciated. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.